as they secure a win in the New South Wales Cup, securing a field goal with a 19-18 Newcastle Knights in the New South Wales Cup as they managed to beat the Penrith Panthers just on time. It was all thanks to a field goal that secured a 19-18 win. It was just spectacular for the Knights, who were just too strong for their rivals right throughout the game. It was a huge one. And of course, Newcastle were the first to quickly score. Then suddenly Penrith came out of nowhere to quickly score back. And that's what they did. Then it was back to back. But not before our beloved Newcastle Knights had to quickly tie the score. And that's how it quickly stayed. But it wasn't for long until the Panthers quickly managed to score another one. But thankfully, the Knights were not giving up. And of course, a try had to be scored. And a field goal became enough, with the Knights winning 19-18. It was a huge one for the Newcastle North Stars right up at the Hunter Ice Skating Stadium at Warners Bay as they secured a 11-2 win over the Adelaide Adrenaline on Sunday. It was a massive one for the North Stars, who were just too strong for their rivals right throughout the game. It was an incredible one. First, a reunion with the North Stars mascot Marty Moose and myself. And of course, after being weeks away. Then it all came on. As the North Stars scored a couple of goals, they of course had a lot of blows, as well as a fight, which led to both teams losing a player to the bin. But of course, half-time is always the best one. But of course, by the time half-time was over, it was just incredible for the North Stars. 3-0's what it became. And it was just massive. Then the buzzer went off. Half-time was on. And again. Before it was time for cheering on again, as the North Stars scored another goal. And of course, I managed to have a chat with the manager for the North Stars, Gary Dorey, and told him the good news.
Hey, how you doing? Wilson's here tonight.
Yes. So how's everything? So what do you reckon the score will be according to the board?
We're gonna win 9-3.
That's
Despite that, and of course, Newcastle managed to score another goal. But despite their first one being disallowed, thankfully, the North Stars didn't want this one to be denied.
7-1. The North Stars lead.
It was now 7-1. Then it was just absolutely amazing for Marty and myself. Then 10-2 suddenly became 11-2. but by the time the clock ran for a couple of seconds, it was huge for the North Stars. And of course, the North Stars won the game. And of course, to start the celebrations, it was time to celebrate it with a hug with Marty Moose, the mascot for the North Stars, and it was just incredible. As well as Moose Dracula. With the North Stars in second, they'll take on the Ice Dogs this weekend. 2 hours hand of Hunter Rugby and the students and the Two Blues were forced to share the points up at 32 all. And because of that, both sides unable to secure a win, and that's how the 2 points had to stay.
Wow. Probably makes up for his yellow. I would have to say the right call, Roddy.
And of course, because of that, the university was up next. And of course, the Two Blues had a player sent off due to offensive language towards a referee. But of course, the students scored a try up at home. And of course, the score stayed at 32 all right throughout full time. The AFL Hunter Central Coast all but returned after a week off, and of course it returned in style with the entrance Batter Bay beating Nelson Bay, while Terrigal Avoca secured a victory over Warners Bay. Also, Killarney Vale and Cardiff also secured victories. While in round 11 of the women's, and Killarney Vale and Terrigal Avoca won their games, while the Singleton Roosters had to call off their match against Lake Macquarie. Good news came above for the women's, and of course Newcastle City had a win. Port Stephens also won, so too did Cardiff, and of course the entrance Batter Bay had a win over Muswellbrook, while Gosford had the bye. Coming up after the break, Maitland secures a win in the Newcastle Rugby League over Cessna.
Celebrates with a match-winning try, and look at him.
You give them all, you gotta get. Because the Herald is the best way to start your day.
Sale! Genuine! Lakeview Blinds, Awnings and Curtains have huge reductions, super discounts, genuine savings on verticals, awnings and Holland blinds, and 6 months interest free. Lakeview Blinds, Awnings and Curtains, now at Waters Bay and Maitland. Don't you miss out!
Lincoln Smith, there it is
again. Of course, Maitland managed to defeat their rivals up at their home at the number 1 sports ground.
Rocket.
over on Saturday.
Good shape there from dummy half with Alex Umbridge popping out, and Maitland really needed that try. 16-10 will go with.
And they certainly
Got
did.
to go about 15. I can't even see. I can't see anything. Can we get this screen turned on? This new screen, please. It's so much closer.
Oh, cut down by Clune and Thompson.
Of course,
Maitland Bradley. He thought about
of course, Maitland scored another try.
Linking up with Lamb, cuts back in field. He's grabbed there by Aldridge.
And of course, former Newcastle Knights player Brock Lamb having the ball.
O'Donnell puts it on the toe. He's picked it up again, still playing on it, gets his arm free. Chance for Taylor for the corner. Taylor, he's flung around.
Before Taylor scored a try to make it 16-all.
Well, I don't think they realised they had 6 again there. Maitland off that little grubber that Chad O'Donnell put through, but awesome work by Taylor. They're good hit and spin with kind of without the him, the spit first, and Brock Lamb with a big chance here, 16-all with the kick come from the sideline.
A bit of redemption there for Bailey Taylor. He made a mistake early in that second half. Comes back with a great try to let the thing.
Then a good amount of success came from Maitland, right up in the dying minutes. They managed to score the match-winning try.
Away. Butterfield finds Langbridge. Langbridge dancing around on the spot, finds O'Donnell. O'Donnell comes across field, turns back around, cuts back in towards the defence.
It's like a dance routine there, wasn't it? Not a backline move.
Adosey Doe. O'Donnell plays it. Langbridge, short ball here to Butterfield. He's got there!
Good game.
100 not out. Butterfield celebrates with a match-winning try. And look at him.
As Maitland managed to win with a huge victory.
22-16.
This second half just comes down to the creativity of Alex Lembridge, doesn't it? I think every single try has come off something he's done out of dummy half in this second half. So Maitland had to find something. They were certainly down, but they weren't out, and they've 22-16 with the kick to come.
As Maitland managed to win 24-16. But meanwhile, in the other games, South Newcastle secured a huge win over Kowi, 64-6. While in the match you just saw, Maitland secured a victory over Cessnock, 24-16, while Wyong defeated the Macquarie Scorpions. Western Suburbs secured a victory over Lakes United, and Central Newcastle secured a win over the Entrance. But of course, in the Hunter Premier Rugby matches in round 10, and of course, Hamilton defeated well-known rivals Merewether Carlton 35-24. While the match you just saw, the University of Newcastle and the Two Blues shared the points, 32-all, and Maitland secured a win over the Southern Beaches, 53-7.
That's with that's old.
And of course, we're turning back to Rugby League and in the Upper Hunters Group 21 competition, and Denman has secured a win over Muswellbrook with a huge win. It was fantastic for Denman, who were too good for their rivals right throughout the game.
You let this lead go against 12 people.
Pay dividends or be an absolute horror for the end of the season?
Well, we are all locked up at 22 points to all.
And of course, Denman managed to kick a field goal.
And he's nailed it, yes. 23-22. The Denman Devils take a 1-point lead. I told you they would. 7 minutes remaining on the clock. Oh, I told you that was
before securing one of the best match-winning tries to win it for Denman, with the Denman Devils winning 29-22.
Now 27 points to 22.
For all it's worth.
And he's slotted it over. There's no coming back now. And this is an 8-point penalty try. But some players need to have a good hard look at himself after this. That's...
And of course, that's how it stayed though. And of course, Denman securing a win 29-22. On the other matches, Scone secured a win over Aberdeen, and of course, Greta Brankston defeated Singleton 30-20. There were great results for Hunter teams up in the NBL 1 East. All the men's and women's Newcastle Falcons and Maitland Mustangs sides managed to secure victories. It was just absolutely incredible for the Newcastle Falcons. And of course, the Falcons were up in Sydney, but are playing against Inner West.
Gonna score, what a play!
It was an incredible one.
Chance, he's free!
It was incredible for Newcastle. And of course, they managed to score in the dying seconds.
Beastie, hook shot for the win! He hits it! 2 seconds off 2.0 on the clock.
And of course, the Falcons scored just in the final 2 seconds, with Newcastle winning 82 to 80.
It's over, and Newcastle have escaped with a remarkable victory.
Then it was important for the Falcons women, with Newcastle also beating Inner West with a huge victory.
Kingham, 3, bang. Kate Kingham knocks down another one. Anyway, Cleveland goes up, misses. Curtin with another rebound. That's her 9th. And now Kingham just says, you want another 3? Here's another 3 for you. 2nd place. Kingham thinking about it, should have launched it. Instead, unselfishly, gives it up. And Jessica Ralph says, thank you very much. Here's Kingham. We'll try and score. 1 second. Curtin 3. Bang. Just to close.
It was
the night.
incredible. The Falcons winning 87 to 55.
Newcastle, an outstanding second half performance.
And of course, it was amazing for the Maitland Mustangs up at home in the Hunter Valley as they played against the Central Coast Crusaders.
Matt Gray.
And of course, with the men securing a win. But of course, with Maitland's men securing a victorious win.
It's a foot race. Oh, beautiful left-hand finish, yeah. We need to settle. 12 on the shot clock. Loud, easy drive and finds James Hunter for a deuce. Good hands. Oh, great hands there.
Just amazing for Maitland's men, who of course managed to secure a victory.
He's keeping Central Coast from getting a good look at the basket. And Harley Kent falls asleep on Luke Cassidy.
And they certainly did.
Hold on to it as William Cranston Lown. Just playing with his food.
It was massive for Maitland, too strong for their rivals right throughout the game.
Shoab will launch it and cannot hit. Oh. But they hustle it back. Lawton launches it from outside. You're kidding. 3-point game. Don't even play defense. Yeah. Let them get whatever they want.
Of course, Maitland managing to secure an 82
and he hits
to 78 win. But of course, Maitland's women also secured a victory over the Central Coast. And of course, with Sydney Hunter scoring a lot of rebounds, as well as a lot of slam dunks as well.
Got to be careful here. Good kick out. Row for 3. Good shot there.
And of course, Maitland too good for their rivals right throughout the game.
She's doubled straight away. Good defense, Crusaders. Great pressure.
And of course, Maitland were just too good.
There you go. Big hit. That's her 6th. And looks like Rowe might be injured on the baseline here. Oh no. Sydney Hunter gets that easy bunny.
And of course, Maitland managed to secure a victory.
Corner 3. That's good. That was Michaela Miller.
All thanks to a 77 to 67 victory.
And that is the final hooter of this afternoon.
In round 16 of the Hunters NPL competition, and in the men's, Charlestown secured a victory over Adamstown Rosebud 1-0, while Cooks Hill defeated Newcastle Olympic. And of course, in the other games, Valentine and Newhampton were forced to share the points at 0-0, while the Western Workers were beaten by Maitland. Also, it was incredible for Lambton, and also a return for Nikolai Topol-Stanley as he made his return back to the Hunter as the Lambton Jaffers secured a win over Broadmeadow Magic.
Goal score from our Jaffers by number 9, Kyle Bradbury, bringing the score 1 goal.
That's how it stayed, with Lambton winning the match 1-0. But meantime in the other game, Edgeworth edged out Lake Macquarie 3-1. Round 15 at the women's, and Maitland has edged out Charlestown Azuri 3-1, while Warners Bay's losing streak has continued after they suffered their worst loss at the hands of Newcastle Olympic. Also, Adamstown went down to Mid Coast 2-0, and Broadmeadow Magic secured a win over Newhampton. Toronto, a team of the Northern League, won, and Thornton secured a 2-1 win over Belmont. Cohiba had the bye, while Toronto Awaba secured a victory over Singleton, while West Wallsend secured a win over South Cardiff. Also, Cessnock City secured a win over Wallsend. To Newcastle Netball, and Junction has all but secured a win over Waratah, while the Students were too good for Westleigh's Balance 2. Also, Souths were too good for the Nova Thunder. Also, Katawa South were too good for their rivals. And of course, that's about it for now from all of us here. Good night.
Mistake early in the second half. Comes back with a great try to look at it. Obviously, because the set taking the inside land. The dummy tries to get through, gets the ball away. Butterfield finds Langbridge. Langbridge dancing around on the spot, finds O'Donnell. O'Donnell comes across field, turns back around, cuts back in towards the defence.
The dance routine there, wasn't it? Not a backline move.
Goes O'Donnell. O'Donnell plays it. Langbridge short ball here to Butterfield. He's got it! 100 not out. Butterfield celebrates with a match-winning try. And look at him. 22-16.
The second half just comes down to the creativity of Alex Lembridge, doesn't it? I think every single